Hey, Ed, what's up?
Hey, John, how's it going?
We're getting there, brother. How are you, man?
I can always say I've been better.
Probably all of us can, man. Probably all of us can. So what's up, dude?
So recently, me and my wife have, well, I shouldn't say recently, it's been going on for years, but we've been going through it, sludging through the crap. And I have a, temper that is all over the place and type of person that I feel emotions incredibly strongly, whatever the emotion is. And I've gotten to the point of self-realization of when I am starting to, lose control when me and my wife are arguing. And I've been able to take a step back and control myself, but only for a short period of time. It's like that build up inside of me when I feel I am righteous, wrong or right, that I feel I need to get my point across and my point is more important. And my wife just has to take the brunt of the lion coming at her. And I'm just looking to try to figure out how to take the step back and gain control again.
I will say that was not an easy thing for you to say out loud, was it?
No.
And I need you to hear me say, as a guy who's done a lot of work and also a guy that has I can't stand it when people are out of control with their anger, especially towards women. I have an inner response to that, and I want you to know that I'm feeling that and I'm honoring you at the same time. Okay?
Appreciate that.
And this ends today, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to keep going. I don't want to talk anymore if you're not committed. If you're like, no, I'm going to give it a shot. It has to end today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fully committed. I love my wife more than anything.
You don't, but we'll get there. You're close, but you don't yet. Okay?
Okay.
Where does your anger, what's the root? Where does it come from?
John, I wish I knew.
Here's where most of the time it comes from. Most man-child anger, which is what you have, comes from a little kid still trying to protect himself. He's just now has a grown-up body, and he's 35 or however old you are. But that little kid comes out to protect him because the little kid's had to protect his whole life. Fair or not?
I could say that's fair, and I think back to when I was younger. I can see
physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. When did you feel trapped as a kid?
Emotional abuse.
Okay.
I have family members that I guess, for lack of a better term, feel righteous.
But it's not about that. You got squashed because this rage, this anger points us towards something we care about. That's not a bad emotion, but you weaponize it and you get out of control, right? Emotionally, like a child.
Yeah.
And when your wife challenges you or quote unquote disrespects you, how you feel that, or when your kids don't quote unquote obey you and you feel you feel powerless again.
Yeah.
That's when your body overrides the systems. You override love. You override connection. The old Dr. Phil saying, you want to be right or you want to be in love, right? You want to be married. None of that matters because you're going to smash out of this cage that you've been put in. And so when's the first time you got shoved in that cage, dude?
I can look back and think about one family member in particular that I spent a lot of time with. And I can't put my finger on the first time, but I can lay my hand on a handful of times. You know what I mean? I can think of times where it's like I express something to this person, a belief or anything along those lines. And if it doesn't align with what they believe is right or how they think something should be handled, it was not there was no validation for how I always felt.
Yeah, it's deeper than that. Because I think there's something else, but let's just go with what you told me. It wasn't a matter of, hey, I think that we should all vote conservative as a 9-year-old, right? All 9-year-olds have opinions. It's awesome. And the adult didn't say, no, in this house we vote Democrat. That person looked at you and said, "You're stupid, you freaking moron." What kind of idiot would say we can vote this way? Are you dumb?
I honestly, you say that, and I can literally think of them saying essentially the same thing, but worded differently.
Okay.
A phrase I remember hearing when I was younger was, I know more, or I've forgotten more than you'll ever know.
Say it again.
No.
Don't contextualize it. Say it again.
They have forgotten more.
No. Say it in first person. Become that person for a second.
Okay. Ed, I have forgotten more than you will ever know.
Say it again.
Ed, I have forgotten more than you will ever know. Gets me going.
I know it does.
And it sucks. This is a person that I have one of my closest bonds with, because it might be just because of the amount of time I spent with them.
It might be because you latched on because that was the only way you could survive.
Yeah.
And if I put my mouth on the exhaust coming out of my car and someone pumps a little bit of oxygen into it, it's not good for me.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And listen, those voices we got as a kid over time become the voices we talk to ourselves. They become the things we were told, they become the things we tell ourselves. And now you're repeating those same lines, not to your family yet, but to you. You think you're a piece of crap. Why?
Yeah.
That's the ESPN ticker tape under the story of your life. Why? What have you done that's so bad, man? Besides be a kid that didn't know stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
What is it, man? Listen, I want you to take hold on, whoa. I want you to, I feel it in you. Take your shoulders and I want you to tense them up as hard as you can up by your ears for a second. I'm going to count to 3. Do it as tense as you can. 1, 2, 3. Now drop them down. And if you were in my presence, you would feel how still I am. I'm not fighting you, and I'm not coming at you. I feel it on you. I feel it coming. Okay?
Yep.
Same team.
That's my wife always says that. We're the same team.
I know. But here's the deal. You have a little kid, little Ed is still running around trying to prove to everybody that you're not as stupid as that person says you are. And I'm telling you right now, until you unshackle yourself from this other person, from this narrative, from this story, it's a part of your nervous system now, then your children will carry the weight of that pain. You will pass it on to them. Your wife, if she doesn't leave you, will avoid you at all cost. And then what's really sucks about it all is your alarms inside that say, uh-oh, they're leaving again, because that's what this other idiot did to you for all those years, would use relationship as a weapon. Your alarms are going to go off, and the only tool you'll have in your 5-year, 7 or 9-year-old toolkit is more rage, more righteousness.
Yep.
Fair?
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I've never really thought about it.
I know.
The way you presented it.
I know.
And
you're not trapped.
It really, yeah. I think about it, and I end up in situations. You know, I'm 32 years old, and there are times where I walk into a room with. I work in construction. You know, I walk into a room for a meeting about a job, and I feel like a 12-year-old in a room full of adults before a word is said.
Yes. And then your only response is to alpha up.
Yeah.
And you go into a construction meeting and it's a bunch of dudes who can piss higher on the fence. And you're hyper aware of somebody kind of dismissing an idea or kind of tossing a report you wrote. And then that little boy goes, that guy disrespect me? right? And that whole cycle starts over again. You're not 12, you're 32 years old, bro.
Yep.
Right? And here's what I want for you, dude, more than anything in the world. I want you to have peace.
I'd love some, man.
I know.
I would love some.
You have to decide I am unhooking from that relationship. And I don't even know who it is. And I think it's better for me and the audience to not even know who it is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That person's poisoned you your entire life. You are still trying to prove to them. Is that the person you call when you get a raise or you get promoted?
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I enough now? Am I enough? Am I enough? I've forgotten more than you'll ever know. Or, hey, look, I got promoted. Yeah, I did that once too. They're going to screw you.
Yeah. So this is a man who I actually haven't spoken to for about a month because of how they treated my wife last time we were around them.
Okay, how long? How long are you going to have this person in your life? They're burning you down. They burned your wife down. Their kids are next. How long?
I've been waiting for a apology for how my wife was treated.
You're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. That will never come. And here's what I want you to see what's happening. You are outsourcing your life to this person. You can't emotionally move until they do a thing. Quit giving them that power. You're free. They don't have that kind of power over you. Who cares? They don't get a vote. Who cares if they apologize to your wife? Their apology isn't worth the breath that they speak it on. But you, my brother, can forgive them because you're not carrying their crap anymore. Have you heard me talk about bricks and backpacks?
I'm not sure I've heard that one. No.
All right, so here's the deal. All of us are born with a backpack on. And all of us go through stuff, whether it's someone puts little pebbles in our backpack or bricks in our backpack or cinder blocks. This person put a cinder block in your backpack, and then they made you feel weak when it hurt your shoulders as a kid. And they've continued to add stuff in there and continued to. And you're walking around with all this weight on. You have no margin. You're exhausted because all day you wake up and you're carrying this bag before you even get up. And then you're running up to this guy and saying, look how strong I am. And he's like, you should see how heavy my backpack is. And he walks off and you're like, okay, I'm going to get some more weight. And here's what I want you to visualize. Stop carrying this dude's bricks around. Set him down.
Yep.
Right? This is freedom. And then when your kid says something stupid to you, like all kids do, when you and your wife get in a disagreement, you have margin. You can go, man, she is mad. We need to solve this. But she is mad is different than I'm a piece of crap again and I'll show you. Right?
Yeah. I gotta get to my back and stand up straight.
No, you don't, dude. That's just another bro town. You need to drop the backpack, man, and sit down. You can't outflex this.
Okay.
This is not because you are weak. I was just in Vegas last weekend. There's some big fights, and I ran into Chuck Liddell several times. I met Chuck a long time ago. I don't care how tough Chuck Liddell is, the light heavyweight champion for years. But if I just followed him around and hit him with a baseball bat over and over again, it doesn't matter how tough or strong that guy is.
Yeah, you'll beat him down.
Right? Now, I'm going to give you some practical tools. You can throw all these away, but if you do them, they will change your life. Are you in?
Yes.
Okay. The first one is from Dr. Peter Attia, and he has talked very openly and eloquently about him dealing with his own personal rage and some things he had to do. But one of the things a therapist asked him to do, and he said he rolled his eyes at it, that he then said was transformative, and it took a few months, is this. I want you to say, I commit to doing this.
All right. I commit to this.
All right. Every time you start talking to yourself in a stupid way, you beat yourself up. You suck, freaking Ed. Gosh. You have to pull your phone out and leave a voice message as though you were talking to a friend who just made the same mistake.
Okay.
Okay? Every single time. That you start talking to yourself as though you're an idiot, you're a moron, you're weak. And I'm going to add one more layer. Every time you hear that other dude's voice, I've forgotten more crap. Hey, dude, Dan, man, that sucks. Yeah, dude. I didn't know that either. You'll figure that out, man.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And we're going to change the way we talk to ourselves because the way we talk to ourselves is amplified in how we talk to other people. You cannot learn to love and connect and treat your wife with dignity and respect if you don't respect yourself. You can't give what you don't got. Okay? Number two, you are going to write 9-year-old Ed a letter. And you're going to tell that kid he wasn't safe then. And I want you to be really honest. And I know you're kind of hedging it because you've got a relationship with whoever this dude is. I want you to write in that letter real honest. This guy did this. He said this. And I'm 32 now, Ed, and I want you to know I'm taking it from here. You've kept us safe long enough. It's time for you to go, run, and play.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to take in.
I know it is. And I've had grown men who are big bad dudes, man, sobbing while writing that letter. And I want you to visualize you sitting across a desk at your 9-year-old little self and your feet don't touch the floor and your feet are kicking underneath your chair. I want you to visualize it. Little red hair, yellow hair, all stuck up everywhere.
Red hair, you got it. Little redhead Ed.
There you go, little redhead Ed. The third thing is, I want you to write this person's name down in one of the sentences they told you. I want you to use the one you told me. I've forgotten more than you'll ever know, you idiot. And I want you to put that on duct tape on a cinder block. And I want you to walk around your backyard or up and down the street with it for a while until it burns. Sometimes it's 20 minutes. Sometimes it can be an hour for somebody like you who's strong. And when you've had enough, I want you to throw that thing down, set it down, tear the tape off, and say out loud, I'm never carrying your bricks again. And you'll get pissed off in the future. You'll get angry. You'll say stuff to yourself, and you'll record a little note to yourself on your phone. But then I want you to say out loud, yeah, I'm not carrying that. And here's what we're doing. It's going to take you months, okay?
Yep.
You're just teaching your body. You weren't okay then. You're okay now. Does your wife love you, Ed?
Cannot tell you how much.
Okay. I want you to sit down and probably take a knee and hold her hands as though you're getting engaged again and tell her that she's getting a new husband. And that we're gonna fight this thing together. Okay?
Yep.
All right, last two things. I'm not done yet. And by the way, when this thing I'll see if we can get you a rough cut of this today so you can start on this today, okay?
Okay.
Whew. I want you to start changing the language from I to Ed, from first person to third person. When you get angry, I want you to start saying out loud, Ed needs to go for a walk. Instead of, I'm getting really mad, right?
Yeah.
Because when you say I, there's research about this, but I triggers up some different chemical pathways to make it simple than the third person, than Ed. You and me can be at a Red Sox game, and we can look over and be like, dude, that guy's getting really mad. And we have distance from it, and our brains and bodies can see that at a distance.
Gotcha.
But when you say I, and you're just going to have to say, hey, honey, I'm going to be weird. I'm going to talk like The Rock sometimes.
All right, yeah.
And ask her, don't say you. Because when she says you, that little boy comes out swinging or spitting, right?
So when she's referring to me, have her use my name too.
Hey, I see Ed starting to get upset.
All right.
And you can go, yeah, Ed's starting to get upset. I'm going to go for a walk. Okay? And we're just creating just a tiny fraction of an inch of space. Does that sound cheesy and stupid? Yes, of course it does. That's all right.
It does and it doesn't, because I've had this view of, if I can get, like, I view angry Ed as behind a closed door and sensible Ed on the other side.
There you go.
And sensible Ed just needs to get that door cracked. Crack it open, and then I'll be able to open the door. and I'll be able to get to angry Ed and calm him down.
I don't want you to calm angry Ed down. I want you to open that door today. Stop farting around with it. Open the door today and go hug Ed. Because that's all anger is, man. Do you love me? And do you see me?
Yeah.
That's what Angry Ed's yelling about. And by the way, Angry Ed, you see him as a raging adult. He's not. He's 9. Because adults don't have control. Adults don't talk to people like that. Adults have control of their emotions.
Yeah. I have to be there.
So when you bust that door open, don't expect a big hulking, frothing at the mouth, angry, grown-up Ed. CA fighting with every inch of his life to hold back tears, fist clenched 9-year-old Ed. And what would you say to a 9-year-old who was scared to death? Dude, come here, little buddy. Come here. You're all right. I got you. That's Angry Ed. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm just.
I know.
Taking it in.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
Taking it in.
And I know you've never considered that before. You are trying to take on adult, raged out Ed with kind, sensible adult Ed. And that's not the fight that's taking place. All right, last thing. You have to be determined to get upstream from this. Okay? What does that mean? Sleep, exercise. If you owe a bunch of money, little Ed is going to be terrified that he can't provide for his wife and his kids. Do you have weekly meetings with your wife to say, hey, what are we going to do this week? What's this week look like for us? How can I love you this week? Because what you're doing is you're practicing connecting way upstream, and you're not waiting until something's on fire and then someone yells, run! And you don't like how they yelled run, and now we're in a fight. So what practices do you have to have upstream? Honey, I just have to start going to bed a little bit earlier. Honey, I can't do dessert and fried foods every night. Honey, I've got to go see a counselor, which, by the way, you should. I got to go talk to somebody, another person on the regular, and practice these things that this Delony guy told me. Honey, I'm going to go away for 3 weeks to inpatient because I'm just going to be surrounded by it so that I can get well. Whatever you got to do. Hey, kids, y'all don't have the power to make me mad. Y'all are 12. I'm a grown man. I'm 32. You can't make me mad. Y'all just don't have that kind of strength and power. I love you. Whew. And I'm going to quit choosing rage. Just got to let that little guy go, man. Let him go play. He's supposed to be out with his friends, trading baseball cards, getting in shoving matches, playing baseball on the street. It's time. Find a man that you trust that's a little bit older than you, and I want you to sit down and told him everything you've told me. Grief demands a witness. You're going to have to grieve this thing. You have to sit in front of somebody else and say, dude, I've been through hell, and I've been dragging loved ones through hell. It's going to hurt. I need to say it out loud. Then I'm going to be about being well. You can't do any of this stuff I told you by yourself. You're going to have to get a gang. And you're worth every single step of the way, Ed. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you a copy of both Building a Non-Anxious Life and Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It's my gift to you, brother. I want you to read them. I want you to read them with your wife. You're going to build something completely new. And you're going to let Ed finally go play, man. That 9-year-old you, he's done fighting.